Useless agent is on your TV, laptop, or your PC, whatever you call it. Useless agent is on your Facebook, laptop, or your PC, whatever you call it. Alright, I can't get enough of that fucking theme song. I'm sorry, but I don't know. If you're like me and you're not necessarily easily amused, but it's like easily pleased. You know, I'm a very easy guy to please. So I've gotten a couple complaints for the for the new theme song, and you know what? I don't give a shit. I think it's great. I really love the you know, it's another thing that I worked hard on, and you know, no one noticed, and I'm fine with that. I really am. I'm totally fine with that. I have not done one of these in a little bit, and it's simply because it's been a weird week for me personally, just because the last 2 weeks have been a little weird, just going on bad dates, and also the fact that it's just a really strange time to be single, and it's just a really weird time to be a dude. So let's start off with our normal recreational bowl that I always hope that whoever's watching this thing, which I know most of the viewers that watch it in Evanston, that I know from Evanston, I couldn't appreciate more for the support. And you know, everything grows with time, and I definitely like how one of our main guys, one of our main fans on here, and contributors, Scott Fierro, I like how he said that the show is clearly gaining its flow and its momentum. And you know, talking to somebody else, she had told me that it must be nerve-wracking to be sitting in front of all of these phones and cameras that are just constantly rolling on me. And you know, I suppose it would be kind of hard for somebody else to get used to that kind of thing, but yeah, I've never been a stranger to the the public, and how I represent myself, and how I put myself out there. So let's start off with our bowl. Cheers, everybody. This is a happy Monday, 10/17/2022. It is 1:18 p.m. And yeah. So let's go ahead and start with our with our smokage. Woo. All right. So cheers. It's been a pretty cool weekend, especially if you're my age, and oh, sorry guys. This has been a really great weekend. If you've been following the not trends, but if you've been following the new music, Blink 182 came out with their new track. Um, Even Green Day has come out with a new track. I just found it on Spotify this morning, and I thought it was interesting that it is actually called Nimrod. Like the song itself was called. Uh, it's like. Uh, Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot the name of the track. It's like "Fed Up with Me" or "Irritated with You," and um, yeah, I loved the track. I thought it was great. It's something about irritating or something like that. So I'm just gonna look it up right now. Let's look it up on Spotify because yeah, it's called "You Irritate Me," and of course the new Blink song is called "Edging." And I don't know if that's going to be the name of the album, but I know that's the name of the track. And so, Edging came out by Blink. Green Day came out with "You Irritate Me," and Tool recently came out, and a few months ago, I remember they like broke the internet because they released out their latest album, which I don't know. I gotta be honest. I'm not too thrilled with. It was kind of a letdown, and then the Offspring had come out with an album. So 2022 has been pretty good for the last half of the year because it at least brought back a lot of groups that people like me miss, and you know I just couldn't believe that after all this time, we waited, we waited over a decade for this new album, and I feel like we got I feel like we got gypped. I am a Tool fanatic, and I still feel like I got gypped. I wasn't too happy with the new album. Pneumonia was a good song, and there was maybe about two good songs on that album, which is a goddamn shame. Because when you have albums like Opiate that are EPs that they had to pay out of their own pocket. If you ever got the Book of Tool, you would have read all the hardships that they went through to make that album. Because halfway through it, when they were doing the few songs on there that are studio made, the the band realized that their contract did not cover EPs. They only covered LPs. So the reason why the record label was so okay with them making their EP was because they knew that they weren't going to have to pay for it. And they really stuck it to Tool, and which is why that album has most, like 4 live tracks, because they didn't have the money or the time to be recording songs like Jerk Off, knowing that they were going to have to pay for however many hours it takes to make that song. They're going to have to pay for that out of their own pocket, and it really sucks, I mean, I guess you could blame the band for not paying attention to their contract, but I mean, we live in the year 2022, and I want to say, like, not a single one of you guys probably ever read your iTunes agreement or even a Spotify agreement, and it's interesting that when you make a great album like that, you think the record label would definitely, even if you had just heard the few tracks that they had on there, which I still think that Opiate starts with a bong hit. Like, it just sounds like it. And, you know, I have a 2-footer over there, the 2-foot bong, so I could show you the same noises. But we all know what those noises are. We all know what we all know what a bong sounds like. And if you don't, it's just like a bubbling sound, you know. So the album Opiate starts with that sound. And what's funny is a couple of my tracks start off that way, but you'll hear me coughing in the background, and then usually we start. I think I even got that idea from Green Day, because in the song Green Day it starts that way, which is off of their first record with Lookout. And so, have you ever heard that song? You know what I'm talking about. Uh, I was really hoping more people were going to be joining us, but I don't know how else to get anybody else on here. I started doing what's the new work on the new website and all that stuff, and so yeah, what's it called? Sorry about that. So anyway, as I was saying, the new thing going on right now online is these Packy one chip challenge. I don't know if you guys have heard of this fucking thing. It's weird. So I went out today. I was in Evanston to go to my doctor, and I managed to find the one chip challenge, and I was told about this I'd seen it on Channel 9 this morning, and noticed that I guess people are doing this one chip challenge thing online to see how much they can handle. And so when I was about to buy it, I couldn't believe it's $8.99 for one of these. And the funniest thing about it is that when you look on the other side, there are tons of warning labels, and it even I even had to be second guessed, or I had to be asked, a couple times for I had to be asked a couple of times if I really wanted to buy it, and they not only have those big warning signs on the box itself, but if you actually go out to one second, I'm sorry. So yeah, if you actually go to the aisle and shit, and you go check it out, it's really funny that the box not only has the warning labels, but there's also a big yellow sheet that is literally also asking you, are you absolutely positive you want to buy this? And they won't take any refunds, and if anything were to happen, nobody in 7-Eleven, of course, is going to be responsible. And I remember seeing that commercial, and I said, I remember there was a bag of these certain chips called Packies, and it's Paqui, And so I don't know if it's Pac Key or Pac Qui or maybe even Pac Will. I don't know. No, no, that can't be it. I don't know. Maybe it is Packle. Um, so of course, there's no way I'm not gonna buy that. And so yeah, at $8.99, I decided to buy one, and I'm just gonna split it and see how that works. If it's really as spicy as it says it is, I will need to take an omeprazole because I used to have a stomach acid problem, and this just seems like it's a curse on my very health. But you can't make a fucking tombstone, not tombstone, but a fucking coffin. You can't make a coffin box and say this is the one chip challenge and think I'm not gonna get it. So I'm gonna try that out soon. Can't wait to do that. I'll be doing that on TikTok because I was gonna do it on here, and there's really no point because most people don't watch it the first time I'm on, and most people don't watch the live show. They usually watch the reruns, and I really don't want to burn the hell out of myself for people that aren't even watching. So I'll be doing it later in about 30 minutes. I'll be doing it on TikTok, and I'll see where that goes because it definitely looks interesting. Um, what else? Okay, another thing recently is like I said, the Green Day and Blink 182 came out, and that Nimrod thing. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if it's a 25th. I mean, it is 25 year. It is the 25th year anniversary that Nimrod came out, and actually, Green Day's Nimrod is by far my very favorite album, period, of all time. Probably my favorite album altogether. Um, I think the only thing that comes up to that line would be probably Tool's Anima, Anemia, or most likely the Beatles' Rubber Soul. Those are those albums that fight over that one number one spot, and uh, so I'm really I don't know. I'm not skeptical. I'm looking forward to it, but Nimrod was an album that came out in 1997, and it was Green Day's way of taking a new direction. And as he said in Time of Your Life, another fork stuck in the road. And I really think this was the album that was that fork stuck in the road and where he decided to turn. And I thought they turned in the right direction. The songs became more full chord rather than power chord, but it still had those tracks that you wanted to be power chord and still have that Green Day essence. It was definitely there. It was definitely there. It was still fast. It was still heavy. It was still sarcastic and still very, which at the time wasn't the cool thing to do, but it was very um, like super gay, trans, and just guys that like to wear dresses and wear drag. It was definitely so supportive of that, which Green Day has always been. They refused to go on stage. I think it was somewhere in the South, and they were on tour with a band called the Queers, and they refused to allow the Queers to get on stage and play their show. And um, when they were denied to play the show, Green Day had made an ultimatum with the actual company, or not the company, but the venue, and basically just said if they don't go out, we don't go out. And if we don't go out, you might have a riot on your hands. Yeah, you might have you're gonna have, a lot of pissed off fans. And I want to say this was, man, I want to say this is like Tennessee or Alabama or something. I just definitely know it was in the South because I wasn't surprised whatsoever when I found out where it was. Slipknot is also out with some new stuff, and their new song, the Dying song, just came out not too long ago, about a week and a half ago. I'm happy with that. Happy with New Blink. Happy with The Offspring. They made a new album. Happy with that album. Honestly, the only album I wasn't thrilled was the Tool album, which I expected a lot better. So what I started doing was making, listening to albums that are older that I never really got into, since most modern music just does not do it for me. It's kind of just rehashing the same ideas over and over again. And someone can listen to my music and probably say the same thing, but I would, of course I'll disagree with them, but, I'm just saying that could basically be the general consensus of things, and I wouldn't really mind. Another new thing that is coming out is called the new Adams Family Netflix series is coming out. It's called Wednesday, and of course, we all know who it's going to be about. But um, there's just something that rubs me the wrong way about the show, and I think it's the fact that the casting of the show was not thrilling me at all. I mean, I love guys like Luis Guzman. I really do. I like Catherine Zeta-Jones. I don't have a problem with her, but I certainly don't see this movie being a very great idea here, because, or not this movie, but this TV show, because of course nothing is a TV show anymore. A everything has to be a series nowadays. Which just, I mean, I understand that you want to get the most out of it as possible, and it even says from the mind of Tim Burton, so that usually means it's not going to be him directing at all. It'll probably be, some nobody director. But the fact is that, certain bands and certain stuff shouldn't even have that much. I don't know. I just don't think certain people should have that much freedom to just suck. What else? There's so much coming out recently. Okay. Halloween Ends also just came out 2 days ago. Went to see that on the day it came out, and at first I thought I was being completely just screwed over, simply because of the fact that the fucking the the theater itself. I always go to the Crown, or yeah, the Regal Hotel. It used to be called Crown Theater. It used to be called a lot of things. So when my sister and I, we always go to the Regal, which is on, it's off of Western. It's a little past Diversey, and my sister and I have been going to that one for a long time, ever since Lincoln Village had changed completely. Lincolnwood Town Center is a dead end now, and used to be the only place for a Chicagoan to feel like a real mall rat. And as a youngster watching Clerks and Kevin Smith movies and watching especially the movie Mallrats because it takes place in a mall. And my brother-in-law used to take me out to these really great malls that had just gorgeous women and just cool people and cool stuff to do. And it was back in Carroll Stream, so it's or Glendale Heights, and they just had way better shit. I think it's Stratford Mall, and they had just way better things than Chicago has. And if you go to Lincolnwood Town Center now, I swear to God, it feels like a ghost town. There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. There's, I think there's a Hot Topic, a Spencer's, and I think like a Kohl's, and even the food court now has like the last time I went had like three different things, maybe three or four restaurants, and I went out with my friend Christine, and she was just my best friend to really hang out with, and it just sucked that just the more you watched it, the more it was going down, the more it was going down, the more it was going down, and then now you get there and it's just completely just a shell of what it was supposed to be. Um, Another new thing that actually came out was uh, let's see. Well, like I said, the Halloween Ends came out. Saw that, and it was probably, if it wasn't as big, I would say it was almost as big as the movie H2O. It really reminded me of H2O, like from Jamie Lee Curtis trying again to do the Laurie Strode thing, and it just wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't have the same feeling, and it didn't have anything that we expected. I mean, when you had Halloween Kills, you had a lot to work with there, and it was just strange that's not the case when it comes to this new one. You had Halloween Kills where you had Michael Myers going to such great lengths to or at least they were giving him such cool stuff to do, and the fact that he was able to like take on multiple people at a time. 1 second, we have a phone call. Hang on. Hey Scott, how you doing? You're on STS right now. No. No one can hear you. Don't worry. I'm just saying I'm on there. Yeah, I'm showing that right now. It is the Packy One Chip Challenge. I'm showing it right now on the screen. I don't know if you can even reach it. Yeah, I'm live right now. Yeah. Yeah, just jump on. I'll show you. All right. Okay. Bye. So, um, yeah. Again, Halloween was just absolutely awful. To end it with with Jamie Lee Curtis being so cool in all three of them. She was so cool in all these movies, but I guess all four of them. But it just to end it that way with Laurie on top. I just really hated the idea, and I just thought it was such a missed opportunity to put Michael Myers to bed when it came to the John Carpenter version. To put this whole idea to bed and finally end it. You should have at least ended it with both of you guys, you know? I should have said spoiler alert, but it really doesn't. Trust me, if you're going to see it right now, I don't envy you right now. Because it's. Welcome, enjoy the first 55 minutes of nothing. Now, Scott gave us a call because he was talking about the Packy one chip challenge again. And so this thing, I cannot believe is $10 a piece. I don't even know how they package it. I don't even want to open the box yet because if it's one chip, I mean they probably have like 3 different things to make sure it doesn't break. Because, I mean that's imagine paying $8.99 for a chip that's not only broken but like just crumbs. So apparently, the chip might be blue. It's going to change your tongue to the color blue. But I heard that the Weeknd had just tried doing this thing, and I heard that even he was jumping for water right away. So again, if you want to look at the box, it's got so many weird things. Yeah, $9, and so it has all these strange. Let me see if I can get this under the microphone. Yeah, or the light. See, it comes with these huge warnings, these long warnings. Say, do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy foods, allergic to peppers, nightshades, or capsaicin. Capsaicin. If you're pregnant or have any medical conditions, keep out of reach of children. After touching the chip, please wash your hands with soap and do not touch your eyes whatsoever. If you have you might need to seek medical assistance if you should experience difficulty breathing, fainting, or exhausted nausea. I mean, I have seen boner pills that have less warning signs and less side effects than that. I mean, that would be pretty damn funny to just pop up and say, like, also causes erectile dysfunction. The ingredients, it doesn't necessarily say what kind of. I mean, it's called a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. Now, I'm sure most of us are used to trying the ghost pepper when that came out. That was very, very popular. But other than that, the basic ingredients are just protein, potassium, sodium, cholesterol, blue corn, sunflower oil. So and basically blue dye number 1. So it's a very simple recipe that's done by Packy, which is again supposed to be like the hottest chips. And I remember buying a bag and it would last me about 4 days because I really didn't want to do it. And so yeah, that's what I'm talking about there, Scott. I've seen so many boner pills or Spanish what was those sex drinks that you buy, like Spanish Fly and stuff that'll say that may cause heart problems and all that stuff, but it wasn't that long, especially not to fit in that kind of box. So that should be pretty fun. Be doing that on TikTok in about 10 minutes. So I will upload the I'll upload the reaction and all that shit on Facebook after I put it up on Spotify or not Spotify. After I put it up on the other station on TikTok. Um, yeah, so that is pretty much all the new shit that has been going on. So we talked about the Blink song, the Green Day song. The only other news, really, 2 blocks down the street, we found out that this woman had completely dismembered her landlord and put her in a freezer. And this was 2 blocks away, and I just kind of walked by to check out the scene, and I wasn't even allowed like even 5 houses down, so it wasn't worth recording. It wasn't worth following. Maybe in a week I can break in there and show you guys the inside. I don't know. We'll see how that works. um, I don't know. Scott Fiera is talking about Jeffrey Dahmer right now. I don't know if you'd watch that special on Netflix. Um, there's I think it's like 8 episodes of about Jeffrey Dahmer, but right now there's a much more interesting series that's called The Watcher, and it's based off of a true story where this family, and it's been more than one family. I think a whole new family just moved in there. Where originally I thought this was a creepy pasta, but it's very real, very true. Where these young people, well, not young people, but this young family, buys a new house in a new area that's very safe and very communicative. I guess they're from maybe New York or something because they don't seem to be as polite, or at least as understanding of their community to where they just moved. And it has some really cool actors in it. Guys that you would know from. I want to say the guys you would know from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I know the female actress. She was in Dahmer, and or not Dahmer. I'm sorry, Dexter. And so she was the neighbor. They played the neighbors, and in this real story, the guys. There's a guy that keeps sending them these strange letters that talk about him watching that house that they had just moved into. And the strange thing about it was that he knew every detail to the house's layout. And now the strange thing that he was talking about is that he said, and I want to say this is verbatim, he actually said something along the lines of that his father used to be in charge of watching over the specific house, and now it is his turn, and I guess his folks had died, and now it's his turn to watch over this house. Why this house is so important, he's very ambiguous about it, and there's so much there's so much ambiguity to this story because the person that wrote the letters was never caught. It continues to this day, and they've had this problem for decades now. So the show is based off of that idea. Now, the true story has no real conclusion, so I'm not sure where they're going to go with it on the Netflix series. And like I said, I was watching the Jeffrey Dahmer one. Sorry there, Scott. Didn't know I misunderstood you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is something that Dahmer did, and that landlord is. I feel very bad for that landlord. And there's another one that actually came forward saying that she tried to do the same thing. But going back to what I was talking about on the Netflix movie or series, the only issue that I really had with this is that I really miss when you just made movies. You know, Hulu was known to do TV shows, series, and stuff like that, and more power to them. Netflix did it too, but I mean, Hulu seemed to be for the television. Netflix was more movie based. HBO was cable based. So you have these different styles, and I just feel like Netflix is not great with how they treat their series. They tend to give it one really good season, a second season that barely hangs on to the same idea. By season three, it's either gone or it just isn't the same show. They had done this with The Punisher. I'm hoping that one comes out with some better ideas because it's definitely lacking creativity. I heard it's coming back. Daredevil had a lot of great ideas, and again, you started putting him in really stupid things like She-Hulk. Um, so film is kind of on the outs. The new Santa Claus movie looks really good. This is a Santa Claus action flick, and I think this sounds goddamn hilarious because we already had Santa Claus, the horror film that starred Bill Goldberg as Santa Claus, and this movie was garbage. I mean, it was called Santa's Slay, but Slay spelled Slay, and it was such a shitty little catch grab that it reminded me of the Gingerbread Man or the Jack Frost movie, even the Evil Pinocchio movie. Movies that I thought were going to be a little bit cool, but took themselves way too seriously when it's a ridiculous point. So now that this movie's coming out, it's going to be an action flick that is about Santa Claus dropping off presents to a house that is being robbed, and he goes all out, goes fucking Rambo style, and he's basically protecting someone that's on his nice list, and so the fact that the fact that John Leguizamo and his gang are people that even when they were kids they were on his naughty list. It just seems so funny, and it's I love movies that make fun of themselves and know what they are, and if it has a ridiculous idea, they know that, and they can still bring you in. Tremors did that, and Freddy Krueger did that, Chucky did that, saying, it's a ridiculous premise, so come on in, And I'm not a big fan of joke horror films like Sharknado and stuff like that. I'm not usually a big fan of that stuff. So, in conclusion, we are at our 50th minute, so we're going to have to close off this episode. A lot has happened in the last couple days, and so that's why I wanted to bring as much up to speed as possible. I just recently put out a new Facebook page for Useless Agent, which is now a new Facebook group. I am doing the best I can for Useless Agent to get as many people on this Facebook group as possible. SoundCloud has a new track on it. We'll be working on the video, and I'm hoping to have that done before Halloween, and I really want it to be something twisted and dark, and it's very hard to find that kind of stuff when you're using stock footage, and so hopefully I can have that out within the next 3 days, and we should be getting everything back on track starting this week. I really look forward to the shit we have coming up. Like I said, we're going to be talking with Jay Santiago, who created the new Useless Agent symbol, and we got another one being made that's going to have that's going to be made of snakes. So we got a lot of cool stuff. So please join into the Useless Agent Facebook group, because that is also going to be where when certain merch comes in, I want to give away some of it, because I think that even if you weren't a fan of the band and you're not a fan of the music, I think the shirt itself is just cool. And, you know, especially for Chicagoans to want to wear it. I mean, it's a lot. It reminds me of like CM Punk, how when he came out, he based a lot of his merch off of Chicago, and that's really what I wanted, because it's my home and it's what I know best, and the two things I really feel at home is with music and Chicago. So I will also be putting out, everybody that is putting out new comments on the SoundCloud page. I keep saying that, you know, there's the usual suspects, and then we're having a lot of new people jumping in on this. Scott Fierro is now one of them. I believe Lena Anderson, but there's gonna be a few more, and I don't want to be disrespectful and not name them right now. So let's just wait till that video comes out, and I want to personally thank all the new fucking fans and the new followers. For a long time, we were not getting that the 5,000 follower mark, and we have surpassed that. And so that's in the fucking rear view, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. And that's why I love that. Even if this isn't popular on Facebook, it still gets seen by so many other people on other sites. So thank you guys so much for all your support. Scott, nice talking to you. Thank you for joining our page. Finally, the band might be growing, like I said, with the merch, but also with members. I'm talking to a drummer and a bassist right now. And yeah, I just can't thank you guys enough. So if you guys know anybody that is suffering through any kind of mental health problems, or you know someone that just wants to get better, please send us an email at uselessagentmusic@gmail.com. We love talking to everybody, and you are not alone. You will never be alone, and all you really have to do is reach out. So love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support, and